Welcome back to another episode of Born Again Podcast. Here we have Eric as our guest today. We also have Matt, Cromer, and Jared and myself, and we're going to be going over a little bit of Into the Stream Ministries, which Eric created a number of years ago, correct?
Geez. Probably about 10 years ago now, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Yeah, so before we get into this, we just want to thank everybody that's listening. I mean, obviously this is all new to us still, and we still have some bugs we're getting kinked out, but
hopefully they're fixed.
Yeah. We think they're fixed.
We actually might have fixed one
just now.
Just half an hour ago.
Yeah, so seriously, thanks for listening to the podcast. Thanks for watching the podcasts on YouTube. We really appreciate it, and we're going to keep cracking these things out. So
every Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so first things first, Eric Sigley. Just give us a little rundown, like married, kids.
Yeah. All right, Eric Sigley, 37 years old. My public school math treats me right here. Married, got 4 kids, had 3 of them at once, which was quite the experience.
Wow, triplets for
triplets.
You.
Yeah, man.
Knocked out quick.
You want to have kids, you want to mess around. All right, let's do it right now. Come on.
Wow.
God heard all those prayers, and He answered them all in one day. So it was pretty wild. But married, 4 kids, live in Orrville. Grew up down in between Albuquerque and Kittern. So let's see, work for the city of Orrville. Most anything park related, I'm going to have something to do with. And been doing that for 16 years. Let's see, I've been hunting since I was probably 10-ish, something like that, carrying a BB gun around behind my dad, thinking I was shooting at rabbits. Yeah. I don't even know if there was BBs in it, but I think it was more of a gun safety thing. But got really into it in high school and took a little bit of I wouldn't say a break, but a slowdown when the kids came, because that was a lot.
So,
but they're getting to the age now where they're wanting to tag along, and it's been fun.
It's about to get
been fun. Yeah, it's been interesting. Some good stories already, and they haven't even gotten out to shoot anything themselves, but they've come along on a few trips, and it's been fun.
Okay, so Into the Stream Ministries. So you kind of started. There was other people involved, but you really had a passion for it, which I think we've seen definitely over the last 2 years. Yeah, and so one thing that we really wanted to talk about was this bow shoot that's going to be going on, which it's going to be soon, especially when this podcast airs. But we just want to give everybody
What's the date, Jarrett?
Yeah, so it is September 17th. It is the weekend before Ohio's bow opener, which it seems like a lot of people that come to it, no joke, are getting their bows out for the first time.
That's how you do it.
Yes. Don't be that person.
we advise not to. But
shoot the day before you come.
And I'm not even sure if we didn't have the shoot, if they would get it out before deer season, because that's the weekend before.
Yeah.
But,
later than never.
For sure. True. So you've been shooting a bow for how long? A long time?
Let's see. I'm left-handed, so that puts me at a disadvantage for borrowing stuff from my dad because he was right-handed.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, the first bow I've ever shot, it wasn't even like a little plastic kid's bow or anything like that. My dad had an old, I think he called it a Browning Afterburner. It was made back in, probably the 70s, I would guess. Oh, it's a great name. Yeah, I think they used up all the good names back in the day. So now we're stuck with letters and numbers and this and that. But anyhow, so we had this
car models.
Yeah. So a Browning Afterburner had those little tiny pulley things that you would see on a bear whitetail or something from way back. Who knows how the thing was way older than I was. Probably the original string. My dad, he bow hunted a little bit. Kind of in that same deal. He'll get the bow. I remember seeing him shoot off the deck at the house a handful of times before season, and then he would get after it and all that. But so who knows how long that thing had sat up in the rafters of the basement, or up in the joist of the basement before I pulled it down. Realized I had to kind of cant the bow a different direction from my lefty cant. So anyhow, I made it work. It was ugly, and I just screwed around with it a little bit. But then when I was in high school, used my dad's crossbow a little bit because he had switched over to crossbows. Then once he got a little older and me and my brother were into sports and everything, he didn't have the time to really dedicate to shooting bow. So, he made the choice to switch over to a crossbow and, sight it in and go. So I'd used his crossbow a little bit, had some fun with that, bought a little crossbow of my own. Then when I was, I think a junior, senior, something like that, I picked up an old PSE Baby G like 5-inch brace height.
They
Yeah,
definitely
BG.
had all the cool names back then.
Yeah, they started using rap names in the 90s. But so they, like a 5 1/4-inch brace height or something like that. I just turned my forearm into a hamburger. It was like, but tell you what, that thing was fast for a kid in high school with a 30-inch draw. That thing could send some arrows. I tell you what. But I used that for a few years, and after high school, graduated and went ahead and got a job and got a real bow and had a real good time with the Matthews for, probably 15 years, something like that. But, so a lot of bow shooting, shot a bunch of deer with some guns and everything like that, and then even dabbled in a little bit of traditional stuff here in the last, half dozen years or so. But, been at it a while.
Yeah, so the shoot, it is at the Naps, which they also go to our church, and they have a great place. They have all the room that we need, which was one big thing. But
Is that in Worcester, Ohio?
it's in Worcester.
Yeah, just west of Worcester, right?
So
maybe
539 or what?
301, right before
301.
Is it 301 or 302?
302.
302,
Yes.
yeah.
So, what is the website where they could maybe find the address?
Okay, if you need the address, we're going to create an event here on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, or if you just search Into the Stream Ministries, it'll pop up as a group. If you're not already a member, go ahead and click to join. I don't even know if
Hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah. I don't even know what it is. I'm not a real techie guy, so all this stuff that you guys have set up here just amazes me. You guys are doing a fantastic job with this. Yeah.
83.
Good job, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. But so anyways, go on Facebook, search Into the Stream Ministries, and then there will be an event on the group page. And that'll give you the address, times, all the details. We kind of do it like a carry-in sort of thing. So if you can bring a snack, covered dish, dessert, something like that to help out. I always barbecue a whole bunch of chicken, like a whole roaster full.
It is so good.
It's pretty tasty.
good.
It's not bad. But so anyways, it's there until it's gone. And when it's gone, it's just like any barbecue joint. When they're out, they're out. But it usually lasts. I know the last couple of years. Right as we were closing things down, I got 3 pieces, put it on a sandwich, and that was it. So it's always lasted. But
There's food, and then there's like a little basketball court set up. There's a play thing for the kids.
Yeah.
And we try to set up which I'm sure we're going to do the kids course again.
Oh, we always do. The kids course is one of my favorite things to do. So just to kind of overview this whole event, this is not just something for the guys to leave their wives and families at home.
Correct.
Bring the neighborhood kid that's never seen a bow in his life and bring him out, and he's going to have a great time.
Yeah.
So what we do is we set up 2 archery courses. Right now it's 2. 3D courses. There's trails that go up through the woods, and we'll go ahead and set up targets at different ranges, and we'll have a little ribbon tied off there. We'll range find it and everything. If you want to look at it, you can. If you want to just take a guess and wing it, go for it. But so there'll be 2 courses, probably, I don't know, anywhere from like 15 to 20 shots, somewhere around in there. We'll see what we can get in. And then back at the house, there's all kinds of stuff for the family to do. Obviously, there's food, so there's going to be a lot of snacking going on for the kids and everything. There's a basketball court, all kinds of cool stuff, swing set, trampoline, and there's also a kids course that we set up that go ahead and take some of the extra 3D targets, some block targets, and we just rope off a little area of the yard with a nice backdrop. So if they miss, no big deal.
Yep. Not losing arrows and it's not facing anybody.
And we try to do it as organized as we can. So the kids will line up in a single file line. And it's one kid shooting at a time. He gets like 4 or 5 shots. We'll see how many oddball arrows we're hanging around.
We've got some old...
Yeah, we've got some throwaway stuff.
Some stick bows and everything, they just sling those arrows.
So,
they love it.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch, too.
Yeah, my nephew had a great time doing it last year. He really loved it.
Oh, it was fun.
And he's a lefty, too.
Yeah. I like asking the kids, when you look at them, you left-handed, right-handed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here you go. Let's see what happens.
Let's find out.
Yeah. So that line usually doesn't stop. I mean, until it gets too dark to be able to see, they'll shoot and then they'll run back to the end of the line and they will go through it again. I mean, it's like a roller coaster.
They will go through it as many times as we will.
It never stops.
You have to tell them no. You do.
You have to just take. You got to take the bows. You got to take the arrows, and you got to pack that stuff up when it's time to move on to. After that, usually we do like a. Door prizes and stuff like that too, just for showing up. So
we will have some door prizes. So like when you get there, you put your name on a ticket, but you have to stay to the end, obviously. And I don't know. We've talked
about modifying that too. Just drawing the names and putting them up. That way, if your name gets drawn, there's a good chance you're still around. Because I know some people, they'll come, put their name in the hat, they'll shoot the course, grab something to eat, and then they got to go. So they can't stay till 8 o'clock when we would normally do the drawing. And a lot of the stuff, you kind of had to be present to win, just because we kind of make a big deal out of it, coming up to the table and picking what you want out of the prizes. And then we also have a couple of, experience prizes, too, which we can touch on later.
Right, yeah. So I know one thing that I've been told. The kid who shoots target, Cromer.
What?
The kid that shoots really good target. Hitchcock.
Yeah, Wayne Hitchcock.
Yeah. So,
shout out Wayne.
Yeah, shout out Wayne.
If you ever watch this, I'll tag you in a post and make you watch it.
I know something that he said is he loves coming to the shoot because it's pretty much organized, but he doesn't have the pressure.
Doesn't have the stress of the competition.
He gets to come and shoot his bow.
Sure.
And he loves it.
He's a good kid. Yeah.
That's
the
what
whole
we want.
family's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
We just want everybody to come and just shoot.
Yeah, definitely no stress.
Right.
It's not a competition.
Like our TAC shoot that we went to this summer. We went for fun, and then if you watch our
It
TAC
turned into a
videos,
competition. Real quick.
I was mad too. I was not shooting well. You can. The second part's coming out. You'll be out by the time this drops.
By the time this drops.
Just watch part 2 and 3 and see how I start reacting on some of my shots because I start to miss. But
Yeah, and
back to
also
this.
the shots, they're not.
Yeah, what's the distance? Let's talk about that a little bit.
And they're not cakewalk shots either. We try to set them up behind a tree or
Yeah, we have
branch
some
or
fun
something
with them.
like that.
Yeah.
Most stuff's under 60 yards. I think we tried to do 1 or 2 shots that were 60 yards and maybe 70.
I think the one year I shot it, there was a 70-ish.
It was an
antelope.
downhill
Antelope at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all different kinds of targets too. There's not just deer targets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's antelope.
I got a question. How did you guys acquire all these 3D targets? Just over the years? Just
Donation.
donation?
Yeah, donation.
That's cool.
It's
not cheap to get 3D targets at all.
No, I know.
Yeah.
We're very thankful for that. I hope it's all right to mention this here. Chad Lorenz, he runs the Waynedale Archery program.
Yeah, you did mention
the club there.
That's cool.
And
That's a big program here in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
The Waynedale Archery program is huge.
So back when we were first getting started, I put out a thing on Facebook saying, hey, if anybody has any 3D targets or just archery targets in general that we can borrow for this event we're putting on,
Gotcha. Cool.
reach it, let me know. And he's like, what do you need?
Cool.
I'm like, well,
Well,
I know what you have, and I don't want to be greedy, but if we can get a handful of targets, he goes, dude, I've got 30.
oh, that's cool.
I'm like, okay.
So how many targets is it broke up into 2 different courses, 15 targets
Right,
each?
so we have signs. It never really
depends on
ends up
how
on
many you can
15.
fit,
But
per
if
sign.
we'll walk one course, and every time we get to see a good opening, we're like, okay, we can put a target there. We do.
Okay.
And generally, one of the courses gets a little heavier than 15, and one gets a little less.
Okay, sure.
But we try and get it close to that.
But there's no rules.
No. Yeah.
No.
If you want to scoot up to 20 yards and shoot every target at 20 yards,
Yeah.
then
Not a problem.
Yeah, we just have them marked so that you can see the target.
Yeah.
And we, of course, we go through it and make sure that none of the shots are towards each other. Nobody will be in the way. And and that brings me back to the Waynedale Archery. That makes the shoot.
Oh, yeah. Having those targets. And they're good targets, too. They're not just, that backyard buck you can get at Walmart for $60.
Right.
Cool.
I mean, these
They're
are
quality.
legit.
Like Reinhardt, McKenzie, they're quality targets.
Are these solely for this shoot every single year, so you put them away? Okay.
So
He rotates
use,
them.
yeah, these are the ones that they use.
Okay,
they just
that makes
allow
sense.
us to use them for the weekend for our little shoot.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
Their stuff's pretty much wrapped up. They're getting ready to move into the indoor stuff.
Yep.
And they don't need them on the outdoor stuff. So it worked out last year where they have them set up. We just went through and
We went
basically
and
cleaned them up.
Cleaned them up
Yeah,
for
so
them.
we took down their course, took them out to the naps, got them all set up, and then got them all loaded back
That's
up.
a good
Put them away for
Oh, it works
It's
out.
amazing.
So far, it's worked out fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a
big
it's
thanks
a
to
good
those guys.
relationship.
Seriously,
Absolutely,
big thanks
definitely.
because especially people getting to shoot at stuff that you don't always get to shoot at, like a
Right.
Black Panther.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Mix it up a little bit.
Oh,
Unless you go to a legitimate 3D national
Right.
shoot, you're not
Correct.
seeing those targets
Right.
normally at maybe some of the local stuff. Maybe.
Yes.
Oh, and then throw in what is the cost for the listeners if they were interested?
okay, so it's a free shoot.
Okay.
Obviously, we do take donations. We'll have a donation thing out. But, we just want people to come, spend their time, shoot your bow, get ready for the season because, well, some people need it.
Yeah.
I need it. This gets me ready because there's angles. You're shooting through gaps.
Yeah.
I mean, this is real hunting stuff.
situation.
Yeah, it's definitely hunting situations. The woods that we do this in, it's hilly and it's timbered a bunch of different ways. So I mean, there's some old growth stuff there, and there's a lot of young growth stuff. So some of the shots you really have to thread the needle in between a couple of saplings or something, or it'll be an extreme downward angle like that last shot.
And your footing's not always right.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in a saddle, it's just different.
Yeah.
So, which is another thing that I wanted to touch on. I think that we should have a couple saddles set up so that people could see them, because I have had so many people from church be like, "Hey, how do you like that saddle?"
You're going to stay in the saddle all day and just
Yeah,
be
that I
the
don't
saddle
know.
model just up there all day? Just...
Oh, I figured you would.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I would.
Tarzan was swinging from the tree.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I wish we could have it set up so like everybody could shoot at it, but I know that that's not realistic.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
realistic.
liability
tough.
issues could be.
Because then plus,
For sure.
We'd have to talk to Ty about that.
Yeah.
Sign this waiver, please.
Yeah.
Which
There is a waiver. Yeah, there
Yes.
is a waiver. Just to protect the landowner, just in case somebody was to roll an ankle or, God forbid, something
Right.
does happen, that they're not going to be held
There is a
liable
waiver,
for it,
yeah.
which is completely understandable.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's it. I mean, it's just donations, and
And that's what
Yeah.
keeps the program going for next year's donations.
Pretty
So-
much,
Right.
yeah. Usually the donations that we get from this shoot will fund
next year.
pretty much the entire shoot for next year, which goes into the chicken barbecue, which, the way the grocery prices are right now is going up.
No doubt.
We do rent a porta-john just so we don't overuse
the
their
people's
house
house.
and overstay our welcome.
Yeah, so
also,
there's a bathroom.
Yeah, so there will be a bathroom and everything. And so a little bit of gas and everything to go get the targets and everything, which I've never claimed, but
Yeah.
I'm sure we could. But however,
Just take the money for next year. Is
Yeah,
what we do.
yeah, just roll it right into other stuff. So
Yep, and then we haven't worked out the logistics and exactly what we're going to do, but I believe this year we're going to try and do a novelty shot, like a long-range shot,
there's going to be something.
Yes.
Yeah,
for some sort of prize,
Yeah.
whether if it's the pot or
yeah.
as
Could be
in
cash
the money
prizes.
pot,
yeah.
so
I'll be
Cromer's
there.
interested.
I'll be there, boys.
111 yard.
Yeah.
Shoot this swinging in.
But yeah, I believe we're going to do something like that.
yeah,
because
it'll be fun.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so also something else I wanted to touch on is with the donations. Eric actually he does a lot of stuff to raise extra money just so that we make sure we have enough money for like the shoot and the other events that we do through this End of the Stream Ministries. But he does European mounts for obviously a donation since he's just doing them for everybody who needs them. And I've had a couple done. My dad's had a couple done.
I've had my last 2 deer done there. Yeah,
He does a good
does
job.
a good job.
He does.
Not too bad for a fella out of the garage.
And it's fun to go over there and see the collection of heads.
Yeah, when he's
Hear the
working
stories
on them.
about them.
You
Yeah,
go through Orville, you stop over, you're like, hey, what bucks you got in here
yep.
today?
It's very
So
cool.
you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that rolls through there.
Yeah, so we're definitely thankful for all the work that Eric does for it. I mean,
Yeah.
he
You a
does
beetle
lot.
guy or you a boil guy?
I should be a beetle guy, but
A boil and pressure washer
yeah,
guy.
so far, it's still old school, but I keep saying, yeah, no, she doesn't. she deals with it, she puts up with it, and she accepts it. Thankfully, thank you, honey.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
Yeah, I did run the beetle idea by her, and that was a hard sell.
Didn't like it, huh?
I don't know why.
Why?
I mean, they fly. Oh my God.
Flesh-eating beetles in my garage. What's wrong with that, sweetie?
It's a detached garage.
Yeah. If they get out, they'll just be free and eat other flesh.
It'll be
in
cold
nature.
enough; they'll die before they get to the house.
Yeah. Where do they come out of? Anybody know where those beetles come from?
I don't know where
I
you
don't
get
know.
those beetles
They're
from.
probably not even like the EPA probably absolutely hates those.
Africa, they're invasive, probably. No, I don't know.
100%.
Get shipped in on the black market for sure.
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to buy them off the black web,
Oh,
dark web,
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
it's called. Yeah.
Black Web's funnier because it's bugs. So. I like it.
Yeah, so definitely coming. This is one of my favorite things of the year.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
I can't hardly sleep the night before it. I mean,
get,
it's so fun.
we get to set all the targets,
Yep.
and we get to talk to everybody when they come.
Yeah,
And
that's the most fun part. Is seeing people that you only see a handful of times a year, and just catch up. You know,
everybody
and
talks
see how things
about
go.
what they're hunting this year and where they're going, and
I always try to invite a handful of people to come out and make the shoot. And
Right.
most of the time they do if they can swing it in their schedule, and they always have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you only can come and shoot for an hour, like just come and shoot for an hour.
Yeah. It's going to be from what is it? September 17th. It's going to be from 2 in the afternoon till about 8, 9 o'clock. Whenever it starts getting dark. I don't know when it gets dark.
Right.
That time of year.
You can shoot till it gets dark.
Yeah, shoot till it gets dark. We will draw for prizes, and I think we're working it out where you don't have to be present to get a prize. You just might get the last choice, whatever's on the table left. So
which might be just like a little can of face paint or something. But hey,
it's face paint, free face paint.
It's pretty good for leaving the event, I would say.
right.
We'll figure out how to get it to you.
Quitters quit, and they get the last choice. Stick around, eat some chicken.
That's right. Hang out.
So previously, can we talk about the youth hunts?
Absolutely, yeah.
So go for it. It's
okay, yeah. So what we started doing is for some of like the grand prizes, like the big deals, and we tried to do these somewhat youth oriented, just to kind of bring more people into the fold, sort of get them young, and so we started offering like a fully furnished, fully guided type youth hunt during the youth gun season, and it's been just awesome hunts. I mean, just great hunts. The first year, it turns out that the landowner's kid won it. And we've got some public spots that we were planning on taking anybody that would win it. And there's deer there. It's a little bit of a drive, and it's kind of hilly, and it's a long day. But we've never not at least seen deer.
Right.
And I think we've almost got shots every single time.
I think so.
Yeah. But so anyhow, the landowner's kid won it, and he goes, hey, if you just want to take him here, I mean. Which
was a blessing.
That was a huge blessing, and it's man.
Because we knew that there was deer there.
There's deer there. Yeah, just setting up the course, we'll usually see 2 or 3 deer, maybe a really nice buck, and there's just tracks everywhere, and you're just looking at deer trails. You're like, let's set a target here because obviously they're using this spot, so this is definitely a realistic spot. And it worked out great. He shot a really nice buck. It's mounted now. It's in their basement, and actually we got all that on video too, and we're still.
Yeah, it needs to be.
It
just needs to be put together.
Yeah.
Well, I can help out if I get the footage.
We still have the footage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. All right.
It's pretty legit.
Yeah.
I think. Let's see. I guess we've had
3 or 4. 4.
Kids?
We've done it four times. Well, actually, we've done 5 kids in 4 years because I think was it the next year? Then we ended up taking 2.
Yes.
No. It was the next year we took 1. And because we saw a lot of deer, but we just couldn't cover. We did a little bit of some slow pushes, just to get things moving.
Trying to like wind bump them and get them.
Yeah. We weren't.
We
trying
don't want them to be running.
No.
Just a nice
just
rod.
an easy. Yeah, we're gonna suggest that deer to go that way if you can. If they're in there. Yeah. But so we ended up. The driver saw a bunch of deer. They just never really ran to the right spot, and then we're all sitting around at the end of it. I mean, it's like prime time, and we had just got done doing a big push, and we're just kind of sitting. Just talking like we are right now, and the dad of the kid looks over and goes, "There's a deer right there." And we thought he was just joking. I'm like, "Wow!" And sure enough, there's 2 does right out in this power line cut. So they get set up. They took a shot. It's a long shot, but he took a shot, and he's been shooting that kind of distance a while too. The kids have done a lot of shooting, and missed. Was able to reload and get a second shot, and the deer just ran like crazy. We thought, he hit her. So we went ahead and looked, couldn't find any blood, couldn't find any hair, but it was a fun, exciting way to end a really long day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it was one of those deals because we had myself and Mark, Jarrett's dad, and then Jarrett came with us too, as well as the youth hunter and his dad. And so 4 of us went and sat in one spot, and Jarrett went and sat in another spot to kind of keep an eye on things. And he had a real nice, probably, 130?
I filled my buck tag that year. And so I was like, well, I'll go with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And if you need me to push deer later in the day, I'll try it. I'll just walk around.
Yeah.
So they went to sit with the kid, and I'm like, you don't need 5 people sitting in one spot.
Right.
So I was like, hey, this area looks good. I'm going to go sit over there, and if I see some deer, I'll come back and get you.
Or if you see a doe.
Yeah.
Because you took your bow. Because you still have a doe tag, yeah. So
I'm sitting there, and I was really just twiddling my thumbs. And I look up, here comes this, 135 just walking right at me. And I'm like, oh, we're on public. I'm not 60 yards off the road, probably. I'm sitting there.
Right off a logging road. I mean, just really, right there.
And I'm like, oh, good grief.
Yeah, that kid would have been sitting with you.
So I waited, and he just, he never saw me. He just real slow walk. I got up, shot so fast over them. I'm like, okay, come on, my buck, come on. Because I figured they could sneak right out that logging road, but they never saw them. But I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So we got to thinking for the next year, it's like, oh, geez, man, we need to cover more of this ground. So we ended up taking 2 kids. And, we saw some deer. I don't think we got any shots that time, but they both had a really good time. And
that's the thing. We're taking 3 of the 4 kids that have gone have never hunted before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we just get to spend time with them. They get to see the passion in us about it, and they go crazy. They love it.
That's awesome.
I suppose I should also say we don't just like throw a gun in their hands and say this is
right.
On. Shoot that thing.
We have a shooting day where we start.
Yeah.
Especially if they haven't shot before, we start with a 22, and then I think maybe like a 410 or something.
Yeah, we'll build up to whatever they're going to be using.
Right. If they're going to use like a muzzleloader, we do like a low charge.
Yeah. 40, 60 grains, something like that.
Yeah. And then if they don't like it, then we're not going to go hunting. But usually once they get to shooting, they're like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, this is
oh yeah.
So they end up running them. They have a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon where they shoot a bunch and get a lot of gun time and trigger time, and when they're feeling comfortable, and we make sure you want to go hunting next week.
Yep. And the last year that we did, last year we had a kid. We took him. I was fortunate enough to get some permission with a good friend of ours who has some box blinds.
Yeah.
And I've been there a bunch of times. There's all kinds of deer there, and they were like, "Hey, if you just want to take a kid, take him." Gave me the keys to the blinds. So Kevin went,
sweet.
Me and my dad, and I was gonna film it because I was like, "This would be really cool." So I filmed, us in the truck. I filmed us walking down. We finally get everybody situated in the blind. It's cracking daylight. It's definitely shooting light. I'm reaching in my bag to get the camera, and my dad's like, "Deer." There's deer just walking straight at the blind. It just...
Oh, my.
Before the kid could even get cold, because it was pretty cold that day.
Yeah, it was
so
cold.
It worked out.
So I started my buddy heater, and I reached in for my camera, and he's like, okay, nobody move. Doe walked right up, 50 yards, stood broadside, let him get the gun, let him get all situated. He's like, oh, yeah, I got the shot. Just like that.
Hammered.
Dude,
he smoked it, too.
The sunlight didn't have time to hit the grass yet. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
And I believe that we're going to be able to take kids there again, which would be
another
huge blessing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the kids, the youth hunt winter is really a big thing because that's definitely one of the best things about that shoot, that we're able to take a kid, especially when they haven't hunted before and they don't really know anything
They don't have
about
the
it.
opportunity.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as easy. We just provide that. And
Right. And we try
started.
to get them clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, between Eric's kids and we can usually scrounge up stuff for them to
everybody's
wear,
got
warm
camo.
stuff for them to
Yeah.
wear,
Cool.
guns.
Try to keep them
everything.
comfortable, keep them interested. And,
Yeah, so that's a big thing. So you got to bring your kid though
Yeah, for
to
real.
the shoot in order for him to win the youth hunt. So
And I think we're putting a stipulation on it this year where it has to be like your first deer.
right, yeah.
If you've already got a primo spot that you're going to and you've already killed 3 or 4 deer, a couple nice bucks, something like that.
We had a kid draw it, I think 2 years ago, and he had
No, this
already
last year.
shot.
This was last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he had already shot a. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was like a 140.
Yeah, he's
wasn't
killed nicer bucks than I have.
it? He shot a couple really
he's
nice
got some
deer.
good spots and
So
everything.
he was like,
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
Pick somebody else.
Yeah, good for
Which
you.
was
Oh,
good,
yeah.
very good on
That's
him.
very cool.
Which is then we were able to take a kid and get his first deer. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it worked out.
He was pumped up about it, too.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I do have a question. What if somebody had a question about the ministry side of things? Is there
Okay.
anyone that they could talk to, or
Is
just
there a section of the shoot? Is there a part of the shoot where there's anything of that going on? Or is it just strictly shooting and eating?
Well, the whole thing is a giant fellowship event, and that's kind of how we do a lot of our shoots. Obviously, we'll obviously pray, before everybody goes home and everything, but we will try to interact with as many people as we can, and just try to show them Jesus and everything we do as much as we can. Which we should be doing on every day,
Right.
Yeah.
And when I got the idea for this, the whole idea was to not necessarily like get a bunch of people in one area and just like pound the Bible into them, but get a bunch of people into an area and then just be in proximity of a bunch of people
Lead
that are
by
living.
example.
Yeah, exactly. You know, kind of walking that life. You know, and just plant some seeds and
No, I'm
see
all
what
about
comes.
that.
You know,
I'm not big on preaching and throwing the Bible at somebody, but
Everybody, sit down! Everybody sit down, I've got something to say.
We're getting the snakes out. Let's go.
if definitely,
Yeah.
living that lifestyle and leading by example is,
I know in the past too, we've always played worship music around the food and stuff, and we actually had some live music a couple years ago.
We did, yeah.
That was actually cool to have a little concert.
One of the coolest worship experiences I've ever had was the very first year we did this. And it's not at the place where we did it now. It was a little further out of Worcester. It was out on the other side of West Salem, and it was in a guy's barn. Was where we set up the food and the worship portion of it, and then we set a bunch of targets up out in the pasture field. And no kidding, it was the very first year. There's a whole new thing that we're trying to get started, and definitely humble beginnings, but it was going to be a fun night. As soon as the first person rolled in, it started raining. And it did not stop, I'm not kidding you, until I was getting in my truck to go home. I mean, it rained the entire time. It was awful. It was awful. It was a great time. We had a lot of fun. We still ran out in a monsoon and shot for maybe 20 minutes, got completely soaked, and came back inside and ate some more food. But the fellowship, I don't think we've had much better. I mean, it was on par with everything else.
Right.
Everybody was in one place. You got to talk with everybody. This is way before Corona, so you can get as close as you wanted. No big deal.
nobody cared.
Nobody cared. But and then so the folks that were doing the worship, and they came up to me, it's like, you just want us to go ahead and start a little bit early. It's like 8 o'clock, 7:30, something like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the music going. And when I think David Stauffer was on some box drum thing, I'm not a musical person, so I don't know what the stuff's called. I think Jeremiah had a guitar and Sarah might have as well, but man, just the music that they played was just, in the rain falling on the barn roof, and everybody just kind of, oh man, I got goosebumps. Just it was fantastic. I loved it. Yeah,
That's awesome.
and we did the live music for a few more years once we moved there to the Naps, and had a good time with it, and just something that ended up getting phased out then a couple of years ago, and we packed that evening with so much stuff, and
We've also made
ton going
the courses have gotten bigger and stuff, so people are shooting until it's dark.
Yeah.
So by the time it's dark, you do the giveaways, you talk for a little bit. I mean,
And correct me if I'm wrong. Like there are no rules.
Right.
You shoot the course, you can go shoot it again.
Yep.
You can keep shooting and like
shoot,
You can go
shoot,
back with a different group if you want to, or whatever.
Yeah.
Shoot as long as you
shoot
want.
a half a course with one group and hang out and grab something to eat. Shoot a course with another group.
Yeah.
Shoot everything all
I
at
end up
once.
shooting the courses like 10 to 15 times. So shoot as much as you
You can
want.
shoot as much as you can.
No,
Absolutely.
no broadheads.
Absolutely no broadheads allowed on the property.
That just popped in my head for some reason.
That's a good point. No broadheads.
Which we haven't had that yet. So.
No, we have not had that issue.
Knock on wood.
Not going with, you like to think that's not even going to be
I think
on
that's
somebody's
on
radar.
the
but
paper, like when you walk up.
I think we do, yeah.
You sign the waiver, like, no broadheads.
I would have it in big, like letters, like do not.
There's a public range close by, and there's a no broadhead sign on top of the target, and somebody missed with a broadhead and shot the no broadhead sign. So
With the broadhead.
with the broadhead
going
forward,
through the
going through the sign. So
I'm not so sure they missed what they were aiming at.
no,
maybe.
I don't think it was
Well-
purposeful. I think it was an accident. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
So
That's terrible.
humanity in a nutshell, basically. Actually.
That's why we need more programs like Into the Stream.
Yeah.
That's right. No.
Yeah, so you can find Into the Stream on Facebook.
Yep, you
And
can find
then
it on Facebook. Yep.
Also, if you go to Worcester Naz,
Yeah.
our church,
The
if
church
you go to the
website,
church website, you can find it on there. It'll have events on it also, because we're really trying to ramp this thing up and do a lot more things during the year, not just... We've kind of gotten to the point where this bow shoot's like our big thing, but we want to have more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we want to do something in the spring. We want to do something in summer.
Yeah.
Not just the bow shoot, which it's doing really well for us, but
Yeah. I suppose if you're going to do one thing, do it well. And
Right.
the bow shoot seems to go well every
Very
year.
well.
Yeah.
But in the past we've done some hikes. We've done some shooting events out at a local sportsman's club, and let's see. Yeah, we did do a youth fishing day as well.
we did a fishing day.
And we're trying to get back into those things, and it's just
time
and availability. And
The last 2 years have been pretty hard too.
Yeah, it's been
so
tricky.
hopefully
Yeah.
life just keeps going back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to really try and ramp it up, but the bow shoot's definitely the big
Yeah.
thing. And we're all really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody had any questions, you can reach out to our page as well. Reach
Seriously,
out to Born Again Bowhunting and
Reach out to Eric.
Yeah,
Sure.
We will get back with you and whatever question.
Yeah, we
you
can
have.
pass information around. So
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll share it as well
Yeah.
on our stuff.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So yeah,
Of course.
okay.
Yeah.
I have one question before we wrap it up,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a would you rather, and this is kind of
Oh boy.
we're gonna kind of go around the room, but Eric, if you would answer first.
Sure.
So I have a situation or scenario where you kill a booner, say
Oh.
this year,
All right. I like it so far.
but you have to go 4 years tag soup.
Tag soup.
Tag soup. But you have to be out there grinding every year.
So that's does included, or you're saying tag?
So no does, nothing.
No, on a buck. You can kill does.
Oh.
But on the 5th year, you're
What's
guaranteed.
the score limit? What's the highest you're going to give them for the first?
Are you going to say higher than 140?
No,
Well, you
that's
said
booner.
booner, so.
Okay.
220?
Oh.
Well, that is a booner.
That's a, I mean, that is a booner.
So I'm going to give you a range between 180 and 220.
Okay,
Somewhere
yeah.
in that range, you're going to
Okay.
kill a booner. You go 4 years, dry spell, no buck.
Okay.
But on the 5th year, you're guaranteed another booner.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
scenario 1.
Okay. All right.
Scenario 2 is you never kill a booner for the rest of your life, but you kill a let's say 135 or smaller every year.
Okay. All right. I thought this was going to be a lot easier. Oh, man. Usually I'm a quantity over quality guy, but if I'm still allowed to bob does, I'm going a once every 5 year booner. Especially if it's going to be like a legit 180 booner or better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because
I think
then
I would
you're
have
shooting
to.
one every 5 years. So
Yeah, you're still doing all right.
You're going to get a
and you're,
couple of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're still filling the freezer with those. So yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Crumbs.
Booner, for sure. I think so. I mean, and then you can get people hyped on the end of the 4th year, and like, you can start getting people like
getting some bets
jacked
going.
up, like,
I'm going to shoot a booner this year,
I'm
guys.
going to bet $1 million I'm going to shoot a booner next year. You can
Ooh.
really,
Oh,
you can start,
He really thought it.
That's something.
you get people hyped up.
Stirring it.
Just,
That's an angle I didn't think about.
you could get like, you go on social media, start telling people, next year I'm going to kill a booner, look out,
180 to 220 mark.
guaranteed. And then, yeah, so you could actually turn into a marketing scheme, actually, if you wanted to. So I'm taking that
I
route.
like Crumbers.
I like that detail. That's
Jared.
good.
Okay, well, so 135 is the biggest I'm going to
135.
shoot.
What's the inch before it's Boone and Crockett?
170.
So what happens if you can shoot
If you're
169 and then everything else is less
That's
than
not part
that?
of the scenario.
I'm just saying, like you said,
Okay,
Boone and Crockett.
No.
All right, fine.
I'm definitely killing every year.
The
So you're shooting at
135.
135 every year.
Every year.
Killing a good buck every
Oh.
year. Because a 135 is a good
Oh, that's a
buck.
solid
I mean, that's
buck.
a solid buck
I'm
in
going to
anybody's
shoot the
book.
135 every year,
Okay.
most of them mounted, and then have one of those living rooms that's just like,
Polluted with deer.
yeah, like 50 deer mounts.
New twist. It's the same deer every time.
It is a basic 8 point.
Yeah.
Genetically, it's the same
130
exact
inch
deer.
8 point every year.
I think I would go for killing the buck every year.
Right.
It's just, it's too much.
That's you, man. You're trigger happy.
If somebody's going to be the trigger man, I'll be it.
You'll fall on that sword. Okay.
I would probably go with a booner every 5 years because how many people have actually seen a booner out in the woods?
Yeah, truth.
Very few.
You're guaranteed
So-
to kill it? Like you guarantee, or do you have to make the shot still?
I mean, yeah. Cromer's diving.
man.
Cromer's diving so deep in this.
Never mind. I'm going. Changing my answer. If that's the case.
Yeah, if I'm not guaranteed to make the shot good, oh, no.
No, you're guaranteed to kill it.
Yeah.
All right.
So if I can shoot one every 5 years, I'll go for a dry spell, I think,
For a 4-year dry spell.
to shoot another
Yeah, that
booner.
ain't that long.
Yeah.
I got more
Dude,
questions.
that's
I'm
a
not gonna
long
ask them.
time. If you're grinding
Yeah,
for
what's
4
grind
years,
mean? I want to know the definition of grinding
Like-
for 4 years.
It changes once you have kids, I'll tell you that.
like I'm talking, you are grinding. Like every weekend, like after work, you are out there grinding and you never kill a buck for 4 years.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah, but I'm shooting my doe limit for sure.
Yeah. What is the doe limit? Like 6 or 7 in the state of Ohio or something?
I think
Like,
it's 6 now.
Well, depending on the county.
well, now that you're not killing your buck, you can fill that doe tag.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you'd have
See,
like 7
you can-
here.
You can go out through the whole state of Ohio and try to find
Yeah.
the big bucks, and
Kevin,
You
Killing
going
buck in
shoot
your
to,
nose.
it's guaranteed,
Heck, you
son.
can sit on your porch and scare
I'm going recurve for 4 years. I'm going Rambo. I might try with a knife, maybe. I might try to go
Tim
kill
Wells
goats.
jump out of a tree with a spear, stab himself in the leg. He's out there in Africa for like 6 hours dying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tim. That was not. We shouldn't joke about that. That actually happened.
We love you, Tim Schlockmaster.
Okay, what are you doing, Matt?
I think we all know.
He's for sure shooting a
He's
booner every
living
5
it.
years.
What are you talking about?
No, I kill a good deer every year. I don't go on a dry spell. I kill one really
Goes
good
on a
one.
booner dry
That's
spell.
what I'm just giving a hard time.
Yeah,
I have to.
man. I'd have to go booner. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to be rude, but you do the 135. You can do the one. You can live the 140 every year if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right now, how does it feel to live the 140 every year? Is it good?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's not.
still.
It's definitely not easy, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's. I would definitely have to go booner.
What if it changed to every 10 years
Ooh.
instead of 5? Would that make a difference?
Give me the 130.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I need
See,
the
that's too-
130s.
It's too much.
Yeah, then you're killing like
Well, hold on a
$3
second. Does the 220 like how much money? Okay, we're talking, but like we're talking record, like world.
Listen,
record
I'm only
whitetail.
thinking about the money. Like, can I sell this buck? Am I-
That's what I'm saying. If it's a world record whitetail every 10 years, and you can sell it, and
Not a
it's-
world record.
Oh well, then whatever. I'm just gonna shoot my bow. Honestly.
We're diving deep into this scenario.
We're starting to stray.
That's all right.
Well, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Good question.
We can end on that.
Eric, you want to add anything, or are you good?
I think we covered everything as far as the shoot goes and all
Okay.
that. So, yeah.
Okay. So
Appreciate
we'll
you guys having me on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a
for
blast.
sure.
Oh,
Been
absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
So we'll look for all of you guys out there to come join the shoot this year. And remember, doesn't matter what you've done in the past, you can always be born again today. And born again is out.
Peace, boys.